In the intricate tapestry of human creation, there are moments of profound change, where one individual, through sheer vision and ingenuity, can alter the very course of design. Here, in the heart of Brussels at the turn of the 20th century, such a moment occurred. The architect was a Belgian pioneer, Victor Horta. He looked at the rigid, formal lines of the architecture of his time and saw not order, but a cage. He sought to break free, to infuse stone and steel with the flowing, organic vitality he observed in the natural world. He dreamt of buildings that grew, that breathed, that lived. This wasn't merely about decoration, it was a complete philosophical revolution in how a living space could be conceived. Horta envisioned a total work of art, where the structure, the furniture, the very light itself, all conspired to create a single, harmonious environment. He found his canvas not in grand public monuments, but in the intimate domestic sphere of the townhouse. It was here, behind these elegant facades, that he would cultivate a new architectural species, one that would come to be known as Art Nouveau. Today, we journey into this unique ecosystem of design. We will explore 4 of his most significant creations, the major townhouses of Victor Horta. These are not just buildings, they are living fossils of a revolutionary idea, preserved for us to witness. We will peel back the layers of history to understand how this remarkable architect used iron, glass, and light to bring the untamed beauty of nature into the very heart of the home, forever changing the world of architecture. Our exploration begins here, at Rue Paul-Émile Janson 6. From the outside, the Hotel Tassel, completed in 1893, might seem relatively unassuming, yet this facade conceals a revolution. This is widely considered the very first true Art Nouveau building, the architectural equivalent of a new species appearing in the fossil record. It was commissioned by Professor Émile Tassel, a man who gave Horta the creative freedom to experiment, to break from the rigid corridor-based layouts that had dominated domestic design for centuries. Horta seized this opportunity with an almost biological imperative to innovate. He shattered the traditional floor plan. Instead of a linear sequence of dark enclosed rooms, he organized the space around a central octagonal hall. This wasn't just a passageway, it was the heart of the house, a source from which all other spaces flowed. Light, for the first time, was treated not as a mere utility, but as a primary building material. A great skylight crowns this central space, allowing daylight to cascade down through the levels, illuminating the very core of the structure and nourishing the life within. And here we see the first full expression of the biomorphic line, the famous whiplash curve. Look at this staircase. The slender, exposed iron column at its base sprouts, like a plant stem, branching out into tendrils of metal that weave their way up the walls, forming the balustrade. They flow seamlessly, morphing into patterns on the mosaic floor and echoing in the painted stencils on the walls. Every element is interconnected, part of a single unified organism. This was a radical departure. Horta exposed the building's skeleton, its iron structure, but he did not leave it bare. He clothed it in the forms of nature, turning a cold industrial material into something elegant, dynamic, and alive. The Hotel Tassel was more than a home. It was a manifesto. It demonstrated that a building could be a fluid, integrated environment, a concept that would send shockwaves through the architectural world and define Horta's career. If the Hotel Tassel was the seed of Art Nouveau, then our next stop, the Hotel Solvay on Avenue Louise, is its most magnificent bloom. Completed in 1898 for the wealthy chemist and industrialist Armand Solvay, this townhouse represents the pinnacle of Horta's vision when blessed with an almost unlimited budget. The freedom and resources given to him by the Solvay family allowed him to refine his ideas into a masterpiece of breathtaking luxury and cohesive design, a truly complete ecosystem. Here, Horta's concept of the total work of art reaches its zenith. He designed everything, from the grand architectural strokes to the most minute details. The doorbells, the furniture, the light fixtures, even the tableware, were all conceived by his hand to exist in perfect harmony with the space. He employed a rich palette of materials, precious woods from the Congo, onyx, marble, and bronze, all contrasting beautifully with the industrial honesty of exposed iron and glass. This was nature, but elevated to a state of sublime opulence. The spatial arrangement is even more complex and fluid than in the Tassel house. Horta divides the grand staircase into 2 flights, creating a dynamic theatrical ascent through the building. This split allows light from the vast stained glass skylight to penetrate even deeper, creating mesmerizing plays of color and shadow that shift with the passing of the day. The effect is immersive. One does not simply walk through the Hotel Solvay, one experiences it, as if moving through a sun-dappled, fantastical forest. The collaboration with the pointillist painter Theo van Rijsselberghe, who advised on the color schemes, adds another layer of artistic sophistication. Every surface is alive. The walls curve and flow, the ironwork writhes with an almost muscular energy, and the light fixtures hang like exotic blossoms. The Hotel Solvay is a demonstration of what is possible when a visionary artist is given the means to fully realize their world. It is not just a house, it is a symphony of light, color, and form. Our journey now takes us to the Hotel van Eetvelde, a structure that shows Horta pushing the very boundaries of his materials. Commissioned by Edmund van Eetvelde, administrator of the Congo Free State, this house, built in 1895, is a testament to Horta's genius in manipulating steel and glass. While the other townhouses celebrate organic forms, this one celebrates light itself. The facade is wider, more open, its visible iron framework hinting at the luminous world that lies within. The heart of this habitat is a breathtaking winter garden, situated in the center of the building. This is Horta's most audacious use of a central, light-filled space. It is crowned by a magnificent, delicate dome of stained glass, supported by a network of slender, almost impossibly thin iron columns. These are not heavy classical pillars, they are elegant metallic stalks, branching out at the top to support the glassy canopy, like the fronds of a giant fern reaching for the sun. This central space dictates the entire life of the house. The surrounding rooms and reception areas open onto it, their boundaries blurred. There are no traditional walls here, but rather screens of glass and decorative ironwork, allowing sightlines and light to pass through unimpeded. It creates a sense of extraordinary openness and volume, as if the inhabitants are living within a vast, ornate terrarium. The home feels less like an enclosure and more like a sheltered clearing in a forest of steel. This structure also subtly reflects its patron's connection to the Congo. Horta incorporated materials like Congolese wood and motifs in the mosaics and stained glass that evoke the forms of African flora. The entire design is an exploration of transparency and structure. The Hotel van Eetvelde is Horta's great experiment in dissolving the barriers between inside and outside, using the technology of his age to create a light-filled sanctuary that feels both profoundly modern and deeply natural. For our final destination, we arrive at the most personal of all these creations, the Maison and Atelier Horta, his own home and studio. This is where the creator of this unique architectural ecosystem chose to live and work from 1898 to 1919. It is, in essence, Horta's personal laboratory and living manifesto. Here, we can observe the architect not just designing for a client, but designing for himself, creating an environment perfectly tailored to his own life and creative process. The building is actually two distinct structures, the private house and the professional studio, intricately connected, yet functionally separate. This clever division allowed him to maintain a boundary between his domestic life and his bustling workshop. But aesthetically, they are one. The facade presents a stunning asymmetrical composition of stone, steel, and glass, a dance of curves and countercurves that announces the artistic world within. It is a bold statement of his unique architectural signature. Inside, the home is a masterclass in spatial efficiency and artistic expression. The central staircase, a recurring protagonist in his work, spirals upwards, bathed in light from a delicate glass ceiling. Every detail, from the built-in furniture that flows from the walls to the intricate metalwork of the balustrades, speaks of a unified vision. We see the evolution of his style, a maturity and refinement in the whiplash lines, and the seamless integration of decoration and structure. This was his sanctuary, his showcase, and his testing ground. Now a museum, the house allows us an unparalleled glimpse into the mind of its creator. We can walk through the sunlit rooms where he lived, stand in the soaring double-height studio where he drafted his revolutionary plans, and see how his philosophy was applied to the fabric of his own daily existence. To explore the Maison Horta is to understand the man himself. It is the most intimate and revealing portrait of an artist who didn't just design buildings. He inhabited his own art. To walk through these townhouses is to witness the birth of a new way of thinking. Victor Horta did more than bend iron and shape stone. He fundamentally redefined the relationship between a building and its inhabitants. He rejected the dark, compartmentalized boxes of the past and instead offered fluid, light-filled worlds where every detail worked in concert. He taught architecture to breathe, to flow, to live. His work was a bridge between the industrial age and the modern era, proving that industrial materials like iron and glass could be used to create spaces of immense beauty and humanity. His influence spread like pollen on the wind, inspiring a generation of architects across Europe and helping to shape the course of 20th century design. Though the high bloom of Art Nouveau was brief, its principles, the open floor plan, the integration of structure and ornament, the concept of a total work of art, have become embedded in the DNA of modern architecture. These 4 townhouses, so brilliantly preserved, stand as a testament to his singular vision, a legacy recognized by their designation as UNESCO World Heritage Sites. I encourage you, if you ever find yourself in the beautiful city of Brussels, to seek out these extraordinary places, to stand beneath the glass canopy of the Hotel van Eetvelde, to trace the whiplash curve on the staircase of the Hotel Tassel, is to connect with a moment of profound artistic creation. It is an opportunity to step inside the mind of a master and see the world for a moment through his revolutionary eyes. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of living art.